You need them. Otherwise this section gets like 5 times longer than what it should be. Okay? Because honestly, this should take us like no time at all. All right? Today we're going to talk about circles. They go round. Go us. All right? Specifically, I don't care about the geometry stuff about circles. We're going to talk about the algebra stuff to circles, which is fun. I think it's more fun than just drawing a circle on a compass. All right? Everybody good? Here we go. Equations of circles. A circle is defined to be the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a given point in the plane, which is called the center. Fascinating. I hope you know that. No. A radius. Any segment with endpoints at the center and a point on a circle. Okay, great. Hopefully we all know that. If not, there's your refresher. All right. Now, once you get into the algebra part of things, if you look down below, is the equations of the standard forms of the equations of circles. Let's look at the first one here. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. The center of this guy is at 0, 0, and its radius is just r. Okay, see that? Centered at 0, 0, radius is r. The one to the right, that's if you're centered at some place other than 0, 0. Okay, so you're centered at like 2, 5 or 7, negative 4, something like that. That's standard form. It looks very similar to parabolas in the fact that you have the minus in there. X minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Okay, so you can see the similarities between the circle centered at 0 and the circle centered not at 0, as well as the similarities with this with the parabolas. HK is your center, R is your radius. Right here. So the first type of equation is starting with this. Write an equation of the circle with a center at negative 3, 1. And 2, negative 1 is a point on the circle. Okay, so we're going to write the equation with a circle centered at negative 3, 1. And negative 2, or 2, sorry, 2, negative 1, there we go, is a point on the circle. Now, the general form of a circle, x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Okay, so just like with parabolas, and whenever you had to plug them in, or lines, when you plugged them in and you solved for 1, this type is just like that. All right, you have your center at negative 3, 1, which is your h and k. You have your point on the circle, which is 2, negative 1, which is your what? X and y. Now you just need to solve for what? You need to solve for r. Okay? So, you plug everything in. So x is 2, so 2 minus negative 3 squared plus y is negative 1 minus 1 quantity squared, which equals r squared, right? Okay, so 2 plus 3 gives you 5. Negative 1 minus 1 gives you negative 2 equals r squared. 5 squared is 25. Negative 2 quantity squared is 4. 25 plus 4. 29. 29 equals r squared. And then you?
What?
That's your instincts.
Ratty squared?
Nope. Your instincts is the square root.
Okay, well, what?
Alright? But
But
you don't need it because what's your radius? It's x squared, y squared, and r squared. You solve for r squared here. See that? So you know what r squared is now. It's 29. Okay?
So the radius is just 29.
So no. The radius is the square root of 29.
But we're looking for r squared.
But your way you write the equation of a circle is with the radius being squared, which is 29.
So technically that's the diameter. No.
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 That's what I thought at first, and I was like, wait a second.
Nope. It's totally. It's not the radius itself. It's not the diameter. It's just the radius getting squared.
Is everyone just like dead today? Like, why is there no baby?
I have no idea.
Model UN.
Model UN, Crism math, stuff like that. All right. So plug in the stuff. So x plus 3. That quantity gets squared. I'm going to run out of space already. I shouldn't have seen that one coming. Let's try that down here. There we go. Alrighty, plus parentheses y minus 1 quantity squared equals 29. And that's your equation
Did you know that formula out of our head?
of the circle. Yes, that one. Okay, so if you have the origin as your center, backing up, it's the exact same as this, except your h and k is what? Zeros. So x minus 0 quantity squared is x squared. Y minus 0 quantity squared is y squared. So you don't really need to know both. You just need to understand this one. And whenever the centered is 0, 0, you morph back to that one.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to like memorize both of these. You just have to understand what's going on over here with the h and the k. Make sense?
Yeah.
Just like this, okay? If you want to go through the same rigmarole to get it and to see it, here's what you would do. X is 1 minus 0 quantity squared plus 5 minus 0 quantity squared equals r squared. 1 minus 0 is 1. 1 squared is? 5 minus 0 is 5. 5 squared is? Okay, so 26 is r squared. And then you write that equation. So x plus 0 quantity squared is just x squared. Y plus 0 quantity squared is just y squared, which equals 26. That's the answer. Okay? Now, occasionally, one will come up where one of your coordinates of the center is 0, but the other one's not. Okay? The one that's with 0, like say this was 0, 2. Okay? Say your center was at 0, 2. I know that changes your radius, but go with me on that, okay? Then it would still be x squared, but then you would have plus the quantity y minus 2. Okay? So if one of them's 0, you don't need to show the 0, is basically what I'm saying.
Is it wrong if you do?
You're an honor, so yeah.
What?
Wrong, but I'll take take points off.
If what?
Wait.
If you show zeros, like
I
x
thought you meant we couldn't, like, okay, no.
like x minus 0 in your answer, yeah, I'll take points off in here. You're an honors. I will. I'm mean to you guys, I know.
Thanks.
No problem. All right. So that's whenever you're given the or the center and a point. Okay? Now, let's change it. Write the equation of the circle with the diameter endpoints at 7, 6, and -1, -8.
With the diameter and points of 7, 6, you have to divide by 3 because it's...
What?
You would do midpoint of those 2 points, and you get that's the center.
Oh, wait, that's what's
Okay.
Alright, so that's just...
Alright, so your coordinates are 7, 6, which is about up here, and -1, -8, which is about down here. Okay? This is going to be terrible, but I'm going to try it anyways. Ooh. Not bad. Not bad. That's actually pretty good. It's a little flat over here, but that's okay. All right. Now, what two things do you need to write the equation of a circle? You need the radius being squared, and you need the center. You need the center. All right. Now, that tells us the diameter endpoints are -1, -8, and 7, 6. Okay, and we need what between these two? We need the center, also known as the midpoint. Huh? Do you have a program that does midpoint for you? You do. You should.
Not really.
Since, I don't know, when did I give it to you guys? Last week sometime.
Oh,
That's not my problem.
SOL.
So you run, now pay attention here, okay, because I made this mistake a few times. You find the center with your two endpoints. Okay, so center, and I'm going to write this out between 7, 6 and negative 1, negative 8. We run that through your program to find your midpoint, and you get it to be what?
3 negative 1.
3, negative 1.
I remember how to.
Distance
Shh,
and point.
shh, shh. Shh. Your center is at 3, negative 1. So right there. All right, so we got the center. Now we need the radius. Okay, and specifically we need what?
The radius squared.
The radius squared.
Can you just use either of those points?
Yes. Okay.
Just do that.
Now the difference is you got to make sure. Now everybody knows I'm talking about the radius squared program, right?
What?
No? Oh, we don't know what I'm talking
What
about.
we're doing?
Okay. Hit enter. Now it's going to ask you. What?
Please, is that for the last thing you just told us to?
No. Okay.
Why?
Now, shh. Everybody be quiet. Let me do my job. Thank you. Okay. Now, you use the distant midpoint slope program to find the center. Okay? Because that's the midpoint, right? Now, you want the radius, which is what between the mid center and the end point of the diameter? It's this distance, right? You want that distance. Make sense? Okay. Now, does it matter if you do this distance versus this distance? If your circle is drawn to scale, which obviously this one is not, no, it doesn't matter. The only thing you have to make sure you do is you use 3, negative 1. Okay? You have to use your center point. Which end point you use does not matter.
Wait, where do you get 3 negative 1 from?
Right here from the center. From the midpoint program. Okay? So then you run.
Isn't like a decimal?
You run radius squared.
Hit enter again.
Hit enter again. You run radius squared with 3, negative 1, and then you can do either 7, 6, or you can do 1, negative 8. All right? And it tells you what? 65. Okay? 65 is your radius squared. So now you know what you need. You have everything you need to write the equation. So x minus 3, quantity squared, plus y plus 1, quantity squared, equals 65.
Did this get harder or is it just kind of
Watch me. Watch me.
I'm watching. Okay.
Well, it's like double shadow today.
I know it's really
Is that not just my eyes?
No, I can see
Oh
it
my
too.
God.
Yeah.
It's been tripping me out the whole time. Me too.
I don't have an excuse. I can't see.
Okay, now I'll notice.
What?
What am I setting up for here?
Complete square twice on one side.
Complete square twice. I know. Oh. People, I cannot stress this enough. You are going to complete the square. Get over it. Okay? So, go through and you're going to do it twice. Now, divide the negative 8 by 2. You get negative 4. You square that. Gives you plus 16. Okay, let's highlight that one in green. The second one, take 12, divide it by 2. You're going to get 6. You square that one, you get 36. And we'll highlight that one in yellow. All right. Now, unlike parabolas from way back that before chapter 8, where we did everything on the same side, here you can balance on both sides. Okay? So we added 16 and 36 to the left. So you need to go back and add 16 and 36 on the right also.
Why don't you subtract it? Different sides.
Yep, multiple sides. Because think about your end game. Think about your circle equation. Okay? Now, the left x squared trinomial Let me highlight this. We'll do this in pink. This guy, factors. This guy, factors. These guys, add up. So you get x minus 4 squared plus y plus 6 squared equals 64. It's really not. Once you get it, stop.
Okay, but I'm confused as to why you guys subtract.
So your center is the opposite of the two quantities you see, which would be 4, negative 6. And then your actual radius is 8. It's the square root of radius squared. Okay, because you got to remember that this number here is radius squared. Okay? Homework, page 610, 2 through 11.
Damn it.